Welcome to The Aligned Path. I'm Glenn Pankhurst. If you've ever found yourself asking, am I actually in alignment? You're not alone. Alignment can feel subtle. It doesn't always come with trumpets and angels singing, and that's where most people get tripped up. So let's start with clarity. Alignment means that your focus and emotional states are matching the perspective of Source. That perspective is always steady, loving, appreciative, and tuned to what's wanted. So if your thoughts feel like relief, appreciation, clarity, or calm optimism, then you're in alignment. And that doesn't always feel like bliss. Sometimes it just feels quiet, or ready, or peaceful. But it feels good, and that's the point. You know alignment by how it feels when you focus on a subject. If it feels genuinely better, lighter, more open, more allowing, you're aligned on that subject. If it feels tense, efforted, doubtful, or tight, you're not. You can't be in alignment if your focus is locked on the unwanted, what's missing, what's wrong, what hasn't happened yet. Because Source never goes there. Your inner being doesn't look at the problems, it only sees potential, solutions, and expansion. So when you're feeling fear, blame, or frustration, that's not alignment, that's discord. But even from those places, you can still interpret the signal from Source. You won't interpret it as bliss or clarity, but you might catch a thought that feels a little bit better, like anger instead of fear, or frustration instead of blame. The upward movement matters. It's not alignment itself, but it's movement towards it. One thing to remember is that alignment is always subject-specific. You can feel great in one area of life and still be misaligned in another. That's completely normal. But if you feel ease and optimism about relationships, you're aligned in that area. But if money feels like pressure, lack, or worry, you're not aligned on that subject. And your emotions tell you everything. Every time you focus on something, ask, does this feel like allowing or resistance? Calm or tension? That's your guide. You're not looking for euphoria, you're looking for resonance. And that's different on every subject. Let's talk about meditation and stillness, because yes, no thought can absolutely be a form of alignment. When you quiet the mind, you stop resistance, and in the absence of resistance, your vibration naturally rises to match Source. That's why after a nap, or zoning out, or deep stillness, you often feel better, because you stop contradicting the signal. You weren't doing anything spiritual, you just got out of the way. So no thought is alignment, because you're no longer interfering, you're allowing. Inspired action isn't always big or blissful. It doesn't always come in a wave of clarity or joy. Sometimes it looks like a shift from stuckness to movement, from tension to empowerment, even if that movement comes through emotions you don't usually associate with alignment. Let's ground this in something real. Imagine you're in fear, that low, frozen kind of fear where everything feels uncertain or overwhelming. From that place, you're not in alignment. Your inner being, your higher self, isn't focused there. Your higher self is standing in a frequency of empowerment, clarity, and knowing. But just because you're not fully aligned doesn't mean your higher self isn't broadcasting. You're still receiving the signal. You're just interpreting it through the filter of where you are. So what might happen? You shift into blame or anger, and that feels more empowering. It has movement, and maybe from that place, an idea comes. Something you want to say, a decision you want to make, a boundary you suddenly feel ready to draw. Now your higher self isn't in blame or anger, but the essence of what you're receiving is empowerment. And from fear, that's how you translate it. That's the most you can hear right now, and that's enough. It's not inspired action from the top of the emotional scale, but it's action inspired by the signal of your higher self, interpreted through the lens of where you are. And that matters. That's how you begin to climb. It's easy to confuse emotional improvement with alignment, but they're not the same. You can feel better and still not be aligned if your focus is still on the problem or what's missing. Alignment begins when your focus shifts towards the wanted and you start feeling satisfaction, relief, hopefulness, optimism, and beyond. When those emotions show up, you're not just feeling better, you're getting closer to the perspective of your higher self. And when something doesn't feel good, it's not failure. It's simply law of attraction responding to your vibration, reminding you that another frequency is available. Alignment isn't about getting it perfect. It's about letting go of what's pulling you out of sync with your higher self. When you feel satisfaction, ease, or a breath of relief, that's not the top of the scale, but it's a sign you're turning towards the signal of your higher self. That's alignment on the subjects you're focused on, beginning to happen. And every softening of resistance makes it easier to feel more, hear more, and live more of that frequency. If you want to begin today, start first thing in the morning. 17 minutes meditating, watching, or listening to something positive to set your tone. In the evening, take a walk in nature, aiming for satisfaction. Every Sunday, give yourself an intentional meditative sound bath reset for the week ahead. And your dreams, record them, feel into them, let them speak to you. These are the rhythms that brought me back to myself. You're not broken, you're not behind, you're just out of sync with part of you that already knows who you are. And the more you practice alignment, gently, consistently, the more that version of you becomes your everyday. Want the full story behind this rhythm? Go back to episode 1, The Block. And if you want even more support with these rhythms, keep an eye out for my new guided meditation episodes coming soon. Each one is designed to help you reset, realign, and return to yourself whenever you need it. Thank you for walking this path with me. I'm Glenn Pankhurst, and this is The Aligned Path. I'll meet you in the next episode. For all the links to listen, follow, and read, just head to my bio wherever you're listening or following. That's where you'll find everything in one place, including the latest episodes, articles, and all my social channels. If this speaks to you, please subscribe, review, like, share, comment, or tag a friend. Let's keep walking this path together. And I'd love to know, what are you working on? What are you letting go of? What are you ready for today? You can comment on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, or directly on the articles. Let others feel the ripple of your insight.